Ooh, Lorne, I am so excited because today NOS lives. That's right, today is the 9th of September, unless I accidentally post this on the 10th. And I am joined by the great Lorne Riseley, the head of the Defunct Games news division, and I am today we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have a quiz, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the PlayStation. So, Lorne, let me ask you: do you have an experience with the original PlayStation?
On a rare occasion in these quizzes of ours that we've taken both now and in the past, I do. I have some experience with the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2. Okay.
What is your experience with the original PlayStation?
I have played them, and yes, I have certainly.
Did you own a PlayStation? Did you own an original PlayStation?
I did indeed, yes, and an original PlayStation 2.
Okay. Well, today we're going to talk about the original PlayStation because I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around this. But today, believe it or not, is the 25th anniversary of when the system was released here in the United States. Now, it came out for you just a few weeks later. It came out on, I believe, the 29th of September in the UK. But this is the 9th of September, which was famously used in all of their advertising, where they kept saying NOS lives as this weird riddle you had to figure out. But it came out today, and today apparently we have a what are you going to call the quiz? What's the quiz called?
Well, what we have for you today is what I'd like to call the ultimate PlayStation quiz.
Okay. Ultimate PlayStation quiz. These are the best of the best questions. And how many of these questions are there?
There are 10, and we have just a very short, just kind of a, to give you an idea of what you've got in store. We've got a little introduction for you. So, Cyril,
let's do it. Yes.
Do you think you know this world-famous games console in and out, up and down, cross, square, circle, triangle? Then take this quiz to find out just how much you know about the legendary PlayStation.
Ooh. To answer your questions, yes, I do. I bought this console on day one. I was there at the very launch, the very beginning. And I own a lot of PlayStation games. I was a big fan of the original PlayStation. It has some of my favorite 32-bit games. I also like the Saturn, but I was a big PlayStation fan. So I feel actually prepared for this quiz because I played a lot of these games. I 10 out of 10, no problem.
Lofty goal. 10 out of 10. Well, we'll see about that.
Yes, we will
certainly see about that. But I guess the question is, are you ready?
I am ready to enter. Let's do this.
All right. So we start, as these quizzes often do, with question one. So question one is, how many PlayStation consoles are there right now? Is it
as of right now? Oh, sorry.
That's all right. A2.
There's a multiple choice.
These are always multiple choice because I don't want to give you no opportunity to get all the right answers here. You say 10 out of 10, I give you the opportunity to get 10 out of 10 in any given situation. Rest is up to you.
All right.
So how many PlayStation consoles are there right now? Is it A2, B3, C4, or D12?
Oh. Well, Lord, I think right off the bat I have a problem with this question. I think they want me to say 4 because the newest console is the PlayStation 4, unless this was written years ago when the PlayStation 3 was out. But,
I should probably jump in then and say that the quiz has been written within the last 2 months. So it is as up to date as it can possibly be as far as the information we have available today, as opposed to have it being written in 2012 or something.
Sure. Well, I would argue, of course, accurately, that there are 6 PlayStation consoles. There's the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation Portable, and the PlayStation Vita. I think that there are 6, in fact, 6 consoles. But because that was not an option, and 12 is crazy sauce, I think we have to go with 4, because that's a dumb question.
So you don't think they're invoking the spirit of the popular rap group D12 by
D12.
alluding to the answer? You think that they're just going straight and omitting to handheld consoles in lieu of the more traditional definition of console? That's what you're getting at here.
Yes.
Okay, so your answer is C.
Yeah, 4.
Okay. Well, you're off to a good start. That's the correct answer.
All right. Well, but in fact, it's a wrong answer because there are 6.
It's interesting you say that because obviously PS5 is releasing in the coming months.
Maybe.
Going up against the Xbox Series X potentially for Christmas this year. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. It hasn't been no dates or prices or who knows.
No one knows for sure.
It's only a couple of months until then.
But Sony have sold 460 million units across all its previous incarnations.
Indeed.
And there's no doubt they're going to be looking to add to that ungodly tally at some point in the future. So
for sure.
C4, correct answer. Well done. Let's see if you're as lucky with the next question.
Question 2.
What type of PlayStation is this?
Wait, hold on.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Okay. Hey,
Is it A, the PlayStation 1, B, PlayStation 2, C, PlayStation 3, or D, that's an Xbox?
Well, not just an Xbox. What's the rubber chicken doing there?
The rubber chicken is not part of this question. However, it was the source material I was provided to work with, so I have to present it to you with the in the format that it was given to me to make sure there are no misinterpretations of the question.
Again, it's none. The correct answer is probably E, none of the above, because that isn't a PlayStation 2, or PlayStation 3, nor is that an Xbox. That is a picture, of not only a chicken, a rubber chicken, but also an Xbox 360. The Xbox was already a system that came out in 2001, and that's not the system we're celebrating here. So, I guess the closest to that is, that's an Xbox, because, that's an Xbox 360.
So you're saying you don't want to go with the secret answer of E, that's a rubber chicken and an Xbox 360, you want to go with D, that's an Xbox.
Yeah, that's the closest that I can do.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, he carries on as he means to begin. That is correct. Well done.
This is the dumbest quiz ever.
It's the ultimate PlayStation quiz. Thereby, it's the best. Although
loose definition of ultimate.
Maybe it's starting off easy to wean your confidence up slowly. You just don't know. But as far as the Xbox is concerned, famed for its red ring of death, launched in the 2005, I believe, holds the distinction of being the highest-selling console of any American company. Which, cool, I guess.
I guess that is a distinction.
That's a distinction.
Considering that all of its competitors are from Japan.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, I don't run Microsoft's marketing department. I only parrot what they tell me to. Thank you, Microsoft. Anyway, I suppose you want another question, don't you?
Yes, go ahead.
Go on then.
What's number 3?
Question number 3.
Is it another Xbox question?
Maybe.
Oh no.
So question 3, and I'm gonna enjoy hearing your mental arithmetic on this one.
No.
How many PlayStation games are there in total? Capitals. So remember, in total, Cyril.
So this includes other countries.
I'm saying in total. If I could say it with an echo, I would, but I can't, so I can only say it with an overarching boom.
Okay.
In total.
You can add that in post.
Is it A, over 4,600? In fact, I should probably stop here. Might be an idea to write these down, because they're going to get tricky otherwise. B, 2,874. Is it C, over 6,000? Or is it D, under 3,267? So if you want to walk me through your thoughts on this particular question, I'd love to hear how you're going to navigate this one to a correct answer. But The floor is yours.
Okay. So, I guess what they're saying, or what they're asking for, is like total across all regions. So not just America, but also Japan and no, okay, this is just PlayStation 1, right?
The question is PlayStation games. So, I mean, given the were there 2,874 plus PlayStation original games? I don't think there were. I think it's covering all platforms.
There were a lot of PS1 games in Japan, though.
Any that fit those numbers?
Okay, so that none of them are under 2,874.
That is correct. So you're probably safe in assuming that that's your bottom run number.
So, and then there's like less than a 400 game difference between 2,874 and then under 3,267.
Indeed.
So it's got to be like in between there, right?
Well, it could be, or it could be 6,001 all the way up to infinity, according to this question. So.
Oh, so that was 6,000 or more.
Over
and then the
6,
other one was.
Yes.
And the other one was over 4,600.
Correct. Yes. So, I mean, 2,874 is definitely your bottom number, but we could be talking in the millions, according to this question. So,
sure. And you think this is across all platforms?
I would infer from the nature of the question, yes.
How did they even figure this out?
I don't know. I don't know, Cyril. I'm just here to answer the questions, and they feed me. I got nothing for you. I need an answer from you. Why are you asking me all questions? I need an answer from you.
I'll tell you. Okay, so I'm going to rule out over 6,000. I'm going to rule out 4,600.
So you're going with the technical numbers as a means to try and garner an answer.
Well, Here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I think that it either is specifically 2,874, or it's somewhere between that and 3,267.
See.
So I think just from process of elimination, I think it has to be 3,267, which if we're talking all PlayStation consoles, that's actually kind of low. So I'm guessing this actually means the original PlayStation, and maybe we should look this up and figure out how many there are exactly. Or maybe you've already done that. I don't know. So I'm going to say it's under 3,267.
Okay. So you're going with D as a means of as a process of elimination. You're going with D. Okay. Final answer?
Yes.
I'm afraid that's incorrect.
No! What?
I'm afraid the answer they were looking for was A, over 4,600.
Okay. Did you do any research on this, Lorne?
Only on the best-selling games of each generation, I'm afraid. So that particular tidbit probably has no use for you. Cyril clearly not happy with this question, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, hold on. Man, I hate to challenge you so early, Lorne, but I googled this.
Okay.
Okay. Now, according to Wikipedia, which has a full list of games on the original PlayStation, they split it up into two different pages, one A to L, and then the other half. It says there are currently 3,078 games across both this page and the remainder of the list from M to Z. 3,078. That is under 3,267. So, Lorne, according to Wikipedia, who is right every single time, I got this right.
I think if we're agreeing to defer arguments to Wikipedia, you are setting a dangerous precedent for these quizzes going forward. And I think you should weigh that decision very carefully, because I will utilize that against you in the future.
Okay.
So you have a long-term benefit or a short-term benefit. I leave the choice to you to whether or not
Lorne,
you got that question correct.
I think you and I both know I got that question correct.
Interesting. Okay, so listeners, I want you to mark this down mentally going forward. Any deliberations can be any tie breaks or any queries can be settled through the use of Wikipedia. And at this moment, I'd like to announce that I've become an editor for Wikipedia, so future quizzes will be very interesting indeed. But that's a story for another time. Okay, right. Fine. We will give you that question just on the basis that you were able to do the legwork and indeed set me up for some fun in the future. So I think we should move on to question 4.
Question 4.
Which, after the controversy surrounding question 3, is a nice and easy one you'll be glad to hear.
Oh, good.
The PlayStation was invented in which country?
Okay.
Is it A, China?
No.
B, Britain?
Definitely not.
C, Korea?
No.
Or D, Japan?
Well, there's not. Yeah, you're right. There's not going to be any controversy here. It is, of course, Japan. Sony's a Japanese company.
So you're going with D, Japan.
D, Japan.
100% sure. Want to defer to Wikipedia on this one, just to be.
I'm never going to hear the end of that.
Of course.
They had an exact number.
Of course, it's Japan. Well done. Question 4. Bonus points if you can tell me who the brainchild of the PlayStation was. I actually bothered to research this one.
Oh, did you?
I did. Oh. I have a unique little tidbit here.
Ooh, a tidbit. All right. We can't mess with the tidbit. All right. Who is the father of PlayStation? That is, of course, Ken Kutaragi.
There you go.
The real question is, who's the mother?
Well, I'm glad you said it because, again, I would have butchered the name, and its origins date back to 1988, where it was originally a joint venture between Nintendo and Sony. So, a little bit of information there is a bit of history I wasn't aware of prior to this quiz, as a matter of fact.
I have seen I have seen him in person. He was at a Sony press conference at one of the E3s I went to.
Good guy?
I didn't meet him.
Oh.
I just saw him do a press conference.
I was going to say, good guy. Any ideas he didn't think of patenting? But never mind. Never mind. Well, he's got his 4th question correct, and despite the controversy of question 3, we're 4 for 4 so far. So
that is correct.
Who's up for a 5th question?
Not me.
Oh, never mind.
Oh.
I have 5 or 6 good more ones, if that's any interest to you.
Only? Yes. Bring it on.
All right.
Question 5.
Which of these buttons is not on an original PlayStation controller?
Ooh. Okay.
Is it A, R2?
Yeah. Okay.
B, L1?
Sure.
C, Y? Or D, left?
Okay. Considering they said the original PlayStation controller, I figured they were going to lean into the fact that the original PlayStation controller didn't have any analog sticks. It wasn't until Ape Escape came out where they released the first DualShock controller, and that was, I don't know, a year or 2 into the console's life. So I figured they were going to be an analog stick or L3 or R3 or something like that. But no, they just went with it's Y. There's no letters on the face buttons. That's the Xbox.
Okay.
Or Switch Nintendo controllers.
So you're going with CY.
Yeah. Yes.
That is correct. Well done.
Of course it is. Parappa the Rapper taught me the buttons.
Parappa the Rapper. Oh God, bring that back, don't you? Any ideas as to why they went with symbols as opposed to letters like Xbox did?
Or like Nintendo did.
Any ideas?
I just to be different, or just so that I don't know, maybe it translates around the world better. I don't know.
Apparently, it's a memorization technique. It's easier to remember symbols and colors than it is letters. So they went with symbols that were represented. And again, the cross X controversy was debunked by them saying, no, it's a cross because it's a shape, not a letter.
Sure. That does make sense.
Indeed. Teyu Goto was apparently the designer behind that and said that that was a distinction they made, which was, again, something I wasn't aware of before this quiz. So that was fun to learn.
That's really fascinating. Have you ever seen the Gizmondo? You know what the Gizmondo is?
Gizmondo? No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it was a portable console released by Tiger. I believe it was British, but you should. I'm gonna have to show you the button layout of that. We're gonna toss that on the screen because it's crazy. It's like hieroglyphics. It's like, it's like the face buttons are like 3 wavy lines and a dot and stuff like that, as opposed to like recognizable. And so they're impossible to explain what buttons to press. It's like, oh, it's so funny. But maybe that's a subject we need to talk about later, because there is a treasure trove of information about that company.
Let's see if there's an ultimate quiz on that console then. Really get into the weeds.
Moving on to number 6. Question 6.
All right, question number 6. And I have to be honest, this might be your toughest question yet. So brace yourself. Okay. I hope you're sitting down for this.
Sure.
Mario was originally a PlayStation game character. True or false?
Originally? No, false. What do you... Of course. He did end up on other things, like he had a couple of CDI games, but no, it's a Nintendo character. It wasn't a Sony character.
So you're going with B, false?
False.
That is correct. Well done.
And now you're just insulting my intelligence.
Fun little tidbit. Did you know that Mario has a brother called Luigi? True story. Anyway.
And Luigi's name is literally Luigi Mario.
There we go. I suppose we better... frankly, I'm surprised you got through that question. So I guess I don't have anything to worry about with the next question, which couldn't possibly be any harder than that.
Oh, boy.
Which is question number 7.
You've set me up.
Well,
You've set me up.
If you handled that question, you'll handle this fine. Don't worry about it. Question number 7. The US Air Force once stuck 1,760 PlayStations together to make a supercomputer. True or false?
Original PlayStation.
The question I have here is PlayStations, but I cannot tell you the incarnation because I have not been given that information.
I remember there being like a news story about PlayStation 3s being linked together for something. Was that like a pizza dream or something? Am I totally misremembering that? Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up later. I don't know. This is a stab in the dark, but I'm gonna say true. Because if it's not specific to which one, I want to say that, I do remember that. True. It's true.
So just for clarification and for posterity, you are saying that it is true that the US Air Force, one of the most highly funded and well-structured military organizations on the face of the planet, resorted to using a commonplace home entertainment system to build a strategic computer capable of making military decisions and/or planning attacks. You're saying that's a true piece of history. You see,
now you've set it up where it actually has to be true. I know that setup. Yeah, it's true.
That is correct. It is true. Speaking of your flagrant memory, I happen to have the information here.
Oh, good.
I will give you bonus points if you can tell me what the project was called. Because it was PlayStation 3, so I will tell you that off the bat.
Oh, it was PlayStation 3.
I will not tell you what it was called. What was the project called?
Ooh, what was the operation? Oh man, I don't know. Operation Wolf. I don't know. I really don't.
Apparently, it was called the Condor Cluster Project, and the sole purpose of it was purely because the equivalent system would have cost $10,000 per unit. The PlayStation 3 cost $400, and it saved them about $2 million.
Okay, yeah. No, I did remember there having something with the PlayStation 3. So okay.
So if that information is indeed true, then the rest of the world should really be scared when the PS5 comes out, because God knows what the Yanks are going to do when they stick a couple of those together.
Oh.
Anyway.
Just you wait, world.
Well, you're barreling along pretty nicely at the moment. If I'm not mistaken,
7 for 7.
You've got all of your questions right. So
I think so. Yeah.
There's not a lot to gain from the next one, but a lot to lose if you don't get it right.
Okay.
So let's see if we can tackle this particularly diabolical question.
Okay. What do we got?
Which is question 8.
Mm-hmm.
What else can you use PlayStations for apart from gaming? Can you use it for A, saving the dolphins? B, playing DVDs and CDs? C, doing the washing up? Or D, as a dance partner? Now, I don't know who wrote this question, but I don't know if there's much more information I can give you at this point that will help you to determine your answer beyond just giving you the answer. So again, feel free to walk us through your mental deduction process for this question if you would be so kind.
Okay. So obviously the answer was it B, the one that was play CDs and DVDs, though the PlayStation 4 does not actually play CDs, which still baffles me. It should. I'm just hot take. But do you remember, Lorne, like a while back where there was like a program you could use on the PlayStation 3 called Folding at Home, and it would, like, you could just leave it running and it would calculate all these complex mathematical equations that somehow related to, I don't know, something. Do you remember that?
Not offhand, no.
Yeah, they should have tossed that as one of the options. Or that would have been a much harder answer. Obviously, look, the answer is play CDs and DVDs. The PlayStation 2 famously was a lot of people's first DVD player. You could play CDs on the PlayStation 1. PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 play Blu-rays and DVDs. So yeah, it's play CDs and DVDs.
Would it sway your decision if I told you that the image that I was given accompanying this question had a dolphin superimposed on a PlayStation?
Well, the code name for the GameCube was Dolphin. I don't really have any other information to add to that.
But did that factor into the saving of a particular or group of dolphins, do you know?
Probably not. Not directly.
Well, okay, so he's going with B, the boring, safe answer. Playing DVDs and CDs. Gosh.
Yes.
And you are correct. That is the correct answer. And fun fact, actually.
Yes.
A little tidbit here. If you leave a Sony PSP in a glass of Coca-Cola overnight, you should schedule time with your nearest psychiatrist, because that's not a healthy thing to do. Neither is doing the washing up. You would need a pretty big glass
to do the
you would. Well, that's why I added a PSP. I figured that you could get into a pint glass. I figured so. But
maybe.
Yeah. In fact, yes. Everyone listening to this, don't try that. Just as a matter of precaution. We all need to be. We're all scared to death of our batteries exploding rather than it being soaked in Coca-Cola.
No, wasn't that the Vita? It was the Vita that was having that problem.
Well, I checked my PSP and it was fine, but you never know.
Good.
So.
Oh, good.
Well, explosive question sidestepped, and 8 for 8 so far. We have question number 9. Okay?
This is the penultimate question on the ultimate PlayStation trivia.
Which, it's safe to say you struggle with, so I think another hard question is in order. Okay. So I need you to tell me, for question 9, who is this classic PlayStation character?
Yes. Who is that?
Is it A, Spyro the Dragon?
Oh.
B, Ratchet, of Ratchet and Clank fame?
Sure.
Is it
But
C,
one of these is going to be Jax?
The infamously animalistic and hairy Zelda?
What? The princess?
Or is it D, Crash Bandicoot?
Oh.
Again, take your time. There's no rush on this.
Obviously, that's Crash Bandicoot.
Take it at your own pace.
And if I remember correctly from one of the previous times we talked, that you were a big fan of Crash Bandicoot back in the day.
Huge fan. Huge fan.
Yeah. They were okay. That's Crash Bandicoot.
So he's going with D and a passive. Well, he was okay, as opposed to he was the best. Okay. Interesting. He's going with D, and unsurprisingly, he is correct. Well done. And the answer is D. Yes. Bonus point if you can tell me what he was originally dubbed as.
Mr. Needlehouse. That'll make more sense later. I don't know.
Okay.
What was his original name?
Developed in 1996, he was originally dubbed Willy the Wombat.
Oh man, I've heard that before too. Oh, I should have gotten that. You're killing me with these bonus questions. Let's move on.
All right, moving on to number 10.
Number 10.
Last question.
This is my final chance. If I get this right, get them all right. I'm gonna ace this thing.
What color was the underside of the discs of the PlayStation 1? Is it A, white?
Okay.
Is it B, pink? C, purple? Or D, black?
Well, I hate to do this to you, Lorne, but once again, this question is wrong. The correct answer is not a color. The correct answer is a shade. The correct answer is black.
So you're going with D, black, or E, none of them?
Well, I mean, no, it's one of those. It's just I take issue with the wording of that question.
Well,
black's not a color.
Black's not a color?
No, it's a shade. It's the absence of light.
Well, Michael Jackson would argue that it's neither.
Well,
because it doesn't matter.
It makes no difference if you're black or white. I agree, but...
But you're going with D, again, the boring, easy, somewhat blatant answer. You're going with D.
Yeah, D.
Okay.
It is.
I mean, even though this whole quiz hinges on you getting every correct answer, you're willing to risk it.
I'm not willing. No, it's D. It's black. All right. They have a black underside that made it distinctive. It stood out.
Well, trickiest question, perhaps?
No.
He's going with D.
Going with D.
I'm afraid. Yes, of course, the answer's D. Well
done.
10 for 10. And one last little tidbit.
10.
Can you tell me why they use black discs?
Well, the black coating was supposed to be for piracy.
That's correct. Yeah. Higher quality discs and indeed to thwart piracy. That is correct.
It did not work. Now, did you ever mod your original PlayStation, or did you ever do like the switch trick?
No, only on the PlayStation 2 did we have it chipped, but I know that was a different process.
Much different. Yeah, it was real easy on the original PlayStation. And you didn't even need a chip for most games because, you could just load in like the start of like an American game and then take that disc out and put the other disc in and have it just running with the tray open.
Okay.
And it would just run. And you play those old Japanese games. I have a bunch of those that I haven't played in a lot of years because my original PlayStation doesn't work, and the one I have has issues. You know how it goes with old technology. But I'm going to figure out a way of playing those in the near future.
That's for another day. As far as now is concerned, you got all 10 questions correct on the ultimate PlayStation quiz. How do you feel?
I feel like the ultimate PlayStation fan. Yeah, I aced another quiz. That was fun, Lorne.
That was fun. I'm glad that we did it for more reasons than one. It's a short-term victory for you. I feel a long-term victory for common sense and Wikipedia usage going forward.
Wow, that was an abrupt ending. It sort of feels like it was missing something, huh? Anyway, thanks for taking the quiz with us. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that Lorne has found a whole bunch of other terrible quizzes, and we're going to be posting them weekly going forward starting next week. Now, here's the question I have for you. Do you have any PlayStation memories? I'm of course talking about the original PlayStation, the one that's celebrating its 25th anniversary today. Don't worry, we'll get to the PS2 when it celebrates 20 next month. I can't wait to see your memories in the comments below. In other news, we're going to be back later this week with a review of Inertial Drift. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,